With the second pick of the 2024 MLB Draft, the Cincinnati Reds select Chase Burns.
It's hammered down the left field line and way gone. A solo home run for Alfredo Duno.
Collier swats one into left field, testing the line. That is down a base hit. Rogers is coming around third. He will score. To replace him at second is Cam Collier with a stand-up double.
Find it short, up in the air. Arroyo steals a base hit.
The swing and a fly ball down the left field line, hooking toward the corner. It is a fair ball, and it is gone. Home run re-signs.
Make it two! Trudeau jumps on the first pitch and lines it for right. Blue crosses the plate, and the Tortugas will not say die tonight.
Lewis takes inside, throw to second, is on a hop, and it is not in time. And there is stolen base number 50 for Kyle Headley.
There's a swing and a fly ball into center. Dunn going back on the warning track, leaps at the wall, makes the catch. Dunn hauled it in. Ball game over.
Swing, here's a well-hit ball to right field. Moving back to the wall, Campbell, that ball is gone! This game is tied!
That's airborne into the gap, into right field, diving forward, and making the catch is Hendrick.
Ian Fu with a skyscraping blast out to right. Daytona is on the board.
There's a swing and a fly ball to left. Rodriguez turns around. It's gone just over the wall into the seats. Home run, Sal Stewart. Kind of a high liner. It got out of here in a hurry. Fly ball center field. Jorge there. And it is caught. Campanon cut and run and caught the ball. Put this game in the win column. Put this winning streak at 14. It's a new club record.
Righty sends. Hendrick signs. Drives it out into right field. That's going to be the ball game. Look out, Twin. Look out, Twin. Hendrick comes through. What a play. What a bat for Hendrick, the fans, and the Chattanooga Lookouts.
Welcome to Minor League Mondays, a Cincinnati Reds minor league podcast, exclusively covering the minor leagues from Louisville down to the DSL. And we get to talk about the DSL today, Ricky. Isn't that great?
Let's go.
We get to talk about some really exciting prospects down there. Starting off the DSL on June 1st, which was awesome to see that they are back in action. All of our levels are in action, which means a lot more content for us to cover. So that's just good news, I guess, overall. So there's some uplifting news because the Reds have not been great. But yeah, how's your mood, Ricky, about the minor leagues this week?
Feeling pretty good. Kind of nice to see our top international prospect doing well down in the DSL, and some other key guys that we're really excited about in the organization getting hot, and one surprise that may or may not have a award this week from us.
Yeah. Also, be a friend, tell a friend. Jacob Friend promoted to Dayton. So shout out to him. Also hit his first home run in the Midwest League. So he's still continuing doing his thing. He told us in that podcast interview he wanted to get 20 home runs, 20 doubles, 20 steals, I think.
Yep.
And he's, I think, halfway there. I think he's got 10 homers. I don't know about the doubles and steals. And he's still stealing base and stuff like that. I think he's well on his way. In the Midwest League, as we saw with Duno, is crushing it. It might be easier to actually get the 2020. But before we get into all that, let's go through our sponsors. Frostbuddy.com, Red Hot Reds down there. Got the URL and the QR code if you want to scan that. We got our Reds koozies here. Check them out, frostbuddy.com/Red Hot Reds. Ricky, tell our fans about Frostbuddy.
Yeah, so Frostbuddy, I have the Universal Buddy here. It's a stainless steel can koozie that holds all the cans you could ever want. So here I have mine. I got your traditional 12-ounce Pepsi can. It'll hold your Red Bulls. It'll hold your Roger's got his. He's got his finally. Father's Day gift right there.
Yep.
It'll hold any can, slim cans, normal cans, monster cans, Red Bull cans, and it's all without buying an extra product. So it's kind of your all-in-one koozie that does it all, and it keeps your drinks cold for 8 hours, keeps your drinks hot for 8 hours if you have a hot drink in there. And, you can switch it out. You can make this into a tumbler with a screw-on lid, and it's 100% leak-proof also. So, yeah, Frost Buddy's been awesome. Customer long before they climbed aboard. So, tell them about yours, Roger, because you got the XL.
Yeah, I'm a big tall boy guy myself, so like I'm trying not to get this out of frame. Anyway. It looks horrible on screen, but hopefully it doesn't look horrible in your hand when you're drinking it. It holds like the big cans I like to get. Also, they got a bunch of Father's Day themed ones, so you don't have to just get the Red Legs ones. You can get NCAA if you got Ohio State fan in your life, or Kentucky fan in your life. You can get the Father's Day themed ones, number one dad. You can get anything, like they have I think USA 250 celebration. Yep. So you could get that as well. So like it doesn't have to be sports related, could be anything. So it's really universal. Like I can fit anything. My energy drink, 12-ounce energy drink one still fits in the XL. So even if you get the XL, it doesn't mean that it has to be just for the bigger drink sizes, which is great to see. You can fit the normal size 12-ounce cans in there as well. So it's just universally just adjustable to whatever you're looking to drink out of, and it'll keep your stuff cold. And they got some new arrivals, it would seem.
Yeah, so they have like a thick buddy, which is basically their version of a tumbler. They've got these kind of designs here. They got ice cream designs, pencil designs. My wife actually has this one here, so we'll click on this one. I'll give you a rundown of what it can do. So they have a to-go buddy, and that will hold all of your to-go drinks, like your McDonald's, your Dunkin', your Starbucks, that kind of stuff, and it keeps your drinks cold for 24 hours, if you can believe it or not. And they have a 30-day guarantee, so they back up their products. So they have that. Lots of cool stuff. Coca-Cola, Margaritaville, Realtree, Mossy Oak, Peeps back when it was Easter, Ghostbusters, some NASCAR.
Wow.
Give you some NCAA here. Give you a rundown of what they got. Most popular, Ohio State, IU, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Michigan, LSU, Texas A&M, Florida, Oklahoma, and they've got plenty of schools to choose from if you're into that kind of design. But it's more than just sports. They got all kinds of cool designs. So, frostbuddy.com/redhotreds and get yours.
Absolutely. Help them, helps us. So it's great to see that. Also want to shout out our podcast network, All Gloves Off. We have added a bunch of shows, Cheap Hop Society, Fanboys Unleashed, and also a Denver-centric podcast, Far End of the Bench, plus the usual Lights Out podcast every Tuesday night, our shows, All Eras with Sirhan, and also Football with Cheese. Check them out. We're on Apple, Spotify, and iHeart. If you are a podcaster or a podcast type person like myself, you can get that the next day or a couple hours after we're done recording our stuff. Also want to shout out our ticket giveaway. That's it. We got still a week thereabouts to enter our ticket giveaway. The June 24th game against the Brew Crew, the hated division rival Milwaukee Brewers, but it's also a Eugenio Suarez bobblehead giveaway. So enter into the contest. The way you can do that is you send us a screenshot of your subscribed to our YouTube channel, send it to our X where it's pinned there. You send it to our Instagram and to our Facebook. And you can be already subscribed or a new subscriber, either one. We'll take you either way. And enter into the contest to win 2 free tickets to that game. Usually the midweek games, they have bobbleheads. Try to get there early, but, I don't know. The way the Reds have been playing, it might not be too big of a crowd you have to fight. But still, it's a bobblehead City Connect with Gino, which is nice to see because hopefully at that point he'll be fully fit and ready to go. Like Ricky's article says that he's going to be having hopefully, some offense coming this way for the Reds at this point. So, but
Yeah, just comment your screenshot. They're pinned on Facebook, pinned on X, and I have a post on Instagram in the archived stories. You can view it, or just send us a DM on there also. DMs are open, so do it that way too.
absolutely. Got less than a week to do that. We're going to do the drawing on the 15th, June 15th show. So watch out for that. We'll make sure that we get in contact with you one way or another to make sure that you receive your tickets. You also have to have the MLB Ballpark app, their digital tickets. I think we talked about that before, but just to make sure, you have to have the MLB Ballpark app so I can send you those tickets that I have in my app, send it to you digitally. But without further ado, we're going to launch right into this. I had mentioned Jacob Friend got promoted to the Dayton Dragons. Also, Yacole Soriano and Jalen Hairston were called up from the ACL up to Daytona, which is great to see. And also wanted to just shout out Carlos Jorge won the Southern League Player of the Week last week, and he had a great week. Just wanted to shout those guys out. But we'll go into our DSL recap. DSL just started on June 1st. And it started off well. Ricky talked about that one of our top international free agent signees had a great start to the season, Mr. Angel Nunez. And Ricky, what were your thoughts on him this week?
I mean, what a way to start your Reds career and your professional career. You go 3 for 4 with a grand slam, 3 runs scored, just everything you could hope as a debut. That's what you dream of as like a little kid. When you debut as a professional, you have a game like that, and he did it. And they won 10-4 over the Pirates Gold team at the DSL. So yeah, I mean, he was incredible. Had a great week overall too. On the season, what he played 14 at bats. He's got a 4.29 average. The grand slam is his 4 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, and has a 14-13 OPS. So just 17 years old, just turned 17 in April. So still very, very young, but he's off to a great start to his pro career.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was kind of cool because they got a little bit of footage out there. We don't get much footage of the DSL for at least the Red Leg. So it was nice to see him clear the bases with that grand slam on Monday. And I want to say he also had a pretty decent week, decent day the next day. A guy that I had been really excited to see for the DSL is Mr. Angel Celillo. And he actually had a pretty good opening day too, going 3 for 4 with a double RBI for the DSL Reds. Angel Nunez plays for the DSL Rojos, the second team, which I think, I don't know, I haven't confirmed this or denied it. I think the DSL Reds might be the older guys, and the DSL Rojos might be the younger ones, because there's still a bunch of young, really, really young guys, real green guys on the Rojos. Diego Pacheco is one of them.
I think the Reds is like the A squad, and the Rojos is kind of like the B squad.
Yeah, for sure. And they still been doing it. And Angel Celillo also followed up the next day on Tuesday, going 2 for 4 with a home run and RBI in their 6-5 win for the DSL Reds. So he's a guy that I'm really excited to see stateside. He had a pretty decent season last year in the DSL and has started off fantastically this season. So I want to see him stateside playing for the ACL Reds sooner than later.
Yeah, they've had just some really good outings overall too. Isaac Garcia has played pretty well. Wanderlei De La Cruz, Nick Waterford, I think he had a home run on Sunday, I believe, or Saturday. Just lots of talent down there. That's why we're here to, make Reds fans aware of these people, that a lot of them aren't going to be on top 30 prospect list because there's so many unknowns about who they are outside of like the number one top signee. Like Alfredo Duno, when he got signed, he was automatically a top prospect because he was one of the top prospects in his class. Adolfo Sanchez was the top 30 prospect because he was one of the top players in his class. Lieber Zaponte, same thing with him. We found Pablo Nunez through the DSL. Very under the radar signing. Hervin Murillo, same thing. Very under the radar signing. Henry Torres, guys like that. You're not gonna see much about them online outside of this show. So we try to cover these guys, and we have some conversations online with them. It's kind of nice to hear from them. Thankfully, with technology nowadays, there's automatically auto translation in the DMs, so that helps out a lot. So it is nice to have conversations with these guys too.
Yeah. It's nice to see these guys come out strong. Like right now, Angel Salillo's hitting 412 in the 5 games he's played. Small sample size. And your guy, Angel Nunez, 429. And they, I think, rained out one of their days. So they only played 4 games for the DSL Rojos. And also, as we talked about in the DSL preview, these guys are basically high schoolers, 18, 17, 19 years old sometimes at the oldest. And just for an example of this, the DSL Reds lost 15-0 on Friday and had only 1 hit. So you're going to find some weird, strange swings both ways that may show that, like, oh man, this guy is terrible or this guy's great. They're learning the game of baseball still, and a lot of these guys are playing professional ball for the first time ever. So you're going to have some strange occurrences, maybe one way or the other, where they're killing it, or maybe they just go super cold for a long time. We're just trying to see where that talent is, and hopefully the talent bores out over time with a bigger sample size.
Yeah, because a lot of these guys are a year away from being stateside. So we'll see some of them guys fairly soon. Like a Wanderley De La Cruz, a Liber Taponte, Angel Salillo, Isaac Garcia. Henry Torres could be stateside next year. He's a catcher. Just a lot of great young players. Angel Nunez, I still haven't confirmed this or not, but I'm not sure if they have to be 18 to come stateside, but if that's the case, he probably will return next year because he doesn't turn 18 until after the season starts, unless they just wait and bring him up late. But Angel Nunez is going to be a really good player, I believe. And there's some other guys down there too. Jose Colina, really good player. Nayrick Waterford, really good player. Diego Pacheco, a lot of really good players that you're really not going to hear much about from any, minor league talking heads, I guess, because they're going to worry about the top prospects from each team. And we're going to really deep dive into these guys and how they do week to week. And yeah, just a lot of good players that we're really excited about.
Mm-hmm. One guy that I wanted to put on our radar, because we didn't talk about him in the DSL preview, and he had a pretty decent start for pitching wise. O'Neill, where I lost it, Diaz, 4 innings, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts in a 3-1 win yesterday. And that's a big thing, I think, that we saw like with Alfredo Duno, is that walks can be really an indicator, or lack of walks, being like able to pinpoint and have control as they are still young kids, and being able to strike out a bunch of guys is something, maybe an indicator of success for the future. Alfredo Duno is like that crazy strikeout to walk ratio. O'Neill Diaz pitched pretty well on Saturday for your DSL Reds and got, 5 strikeouts out of his 12 outs. So he seemed to have pretty decent command of the strike zone, not getting any hits and just giving up the 1 base runner. So just a guy to put on the radar for the future.
Yeah, and Luis Avila closed out that game and got the save. He's in 2 games, 2 innings, no runs, 3 strikeouts, no walks. And he had a history of that last year. In 9 games, had a 1.59 ERA out of the bullpen, had 2 saves in 17 innings. Only had 5 walks and 18 strikeouts last year. And he had a 158 batting average against, and he hasn't allowed a hit this year. So really good player. He's 19. I think he just turned 19 in April. So he could be stateside at the end of this season going into next year. Such a tiny kid, though, for a pitcher, 5'11", 145.
You'll find that with a lot of these DSL players, even though he's on the older side of 19. Yeah, a lot of these guys are they may not come from the most affluent background. So they may, once they come stateside, maybe they'll get some more muscle put on them when they get to the complex. But ready to move on to the ACL.
Yeah.
ACL had 6 games this week, which is kind of big for them. Usually they play 5, taking off days randomly here and there, but they played a bunch of games. They never play on Sunday, by the way, the Lord's Day. But they generally play on Monday, when the ACL Reds went 2-4 this week, had some decent performances. Steele Hall seems to be a guy that definitely should be in Daytona sooner than later. But his week was pretty, ho-hum, doing his thing and whatnot. Hervin Murillo, again, another one of those guys just killing it and just probably should be in Daytona sooner than later if the opportunity arises. But yeah, this ACL team, I look at our sheet where we got like the breakdown of the box score all the time, and they highlight the top 30 prospects in the box score and whatnot. And usually the ACL, it's got like 6 or 7, of the guys are top 30 prospects. We're talking about Steele Hall. We're talking Adolfo Sanchez, talking Hervin Murillo, Arnaldo Lantigua. Mason Neville still in the top 30 officially for the Reds, but, we'll get into that. Shameless plug. We got our top 30 coming out soon, Monday night. So look forward to that. And then, they got guys in there like Aaron Watson in the ACL. So, that we got a lot of talent at the ACL level is what I'm trying to say. And it's great to see. And a lot of those guys are performing well, Mason and Arnaldo notwithstanding. But the ACL Reds have been pretty decent this year. I think they won more games than lost, but it's not about winning. It's about producing. What stood out to you for the ACL this week?
Yeah, on a positive note for Pablo Nunez, getting him back and healthy, he's up over 300 in his 19 at bats, 2 stolen bases, 848 OPS. Adolfo Sanchez has been really hot these last few games. I think he has a multi-game hitting streak. I want to say it's upwards of 6, but let me double check on that. He has 5 home runs too, by the way. I didn't know if you knew that. He is his hitting streak just ended on Saturday. He went 0 for 5, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-game hitting streak for Adolfo Sanchez ended Saturday. He is turning it on and becoming a really nice outfielder to watch out for. He probably goes to Daytona by season's end, along with, I would hope, Aaron Watson, Steele Hall, hopefully Pablo Nunez. Lots of good ACL players that are, top 30 prospects. Some should be top 30 prospects, probably will be top 30 prospects. And good to see Steele Hall continuing to play well. Nice to see Arnaldo Lantigua playing well down there. He was really struggling with Daytona. Hervin Murillo consistently playing good. I think he's up in the top 15 in the organization and prospects. So he's climbed all really high just in the short amount of time he's played. So that's good to see from him. And another underrated player, well, 2 underrated players, one not so much underrated, but Juan Brown playing very well down there in Arizona. And then Eli Pitts is showing why he, was going to be a very high draft pick if he went to college. And the Reds took a chance on a kid with injuries, and it's working out down there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I forgot about those guys. Hansel Jimenez, we haven't mentioned as well. Another top 30 guy as well that plays the ACL. I did mention Lantigua and Mason Neville. They are back in the ACL because they started out the year in Daytona, but been really struggling. But they had a couple of decent performances. Like yesterday, Mason Neville went 3 for 4 with a home run. Has got his batting average up to 350 at the ACL. So hopefully, maybe adjusting the swing, playing, a little bit differently in a different competition in Arizona than at Daytona. Maybe he can get back to Daytona sooner than later as well, as he kind of really started off the year struggling with his strikeouts and not hitting. And I think he was under 200 batting average. So hopefully he can get his confidence back, get back into it. The other guy I wanted to profile, Raijateri Marete, 4 2/3 innings on Friday, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts. So 8 of his 14 outs. This lefty with the World Baseball Classic, confidence, I think, behind him. He could be a guy that could be in Daytona as well soon. I think he's 19 years old only, I want to say. Yeah. Like he's really young and got a lot of experience for him. And he's like kind of Ovis Portes, man. He's just got strikeout stuff. He might not, he might give up the occasional home run and give up a bunch of hits, but you're always going to see where he's got like 7 or 8 or 9 strikeouts every outing, even in the limited amount of outings that he gets with the ACL. So look out for Murate.
Yeah, he's a great talent. Really high velocity fastball, good movement on his breaking balls, just really good stuff from him. And like you said, the World Baseball Classic got some little national TV exposure for the young kid. So yeah, really nice to see from him too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the ACL. You got any other comments on these young guys?
Yeah, one other pitcher I want to talk about, Jesus Colina. 8 games in relief. In 12 2/3 innings, he's got 15 strikeouts with just 3 walks. So he actually is a returning ACL player. He played on the DSL for 3 years. Goes to the ACL last year, had an 8.53 ERA last year. Really kind of figuring it out. He had a 328 average against him last year. He's down to 200 flat this year. So really nice to see the improvement from him down there. And it's what it's all about down there in the ACL. It's just honing your craft and trying to get to that next level if you can. So good to see. He's still just 21. So good for him. He's out of Venezuela. So good to see him figuring it out and having some success down there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the ACL Reds actually had a losing week, 2-4 that week, and actually they're off on Monday, so they'll be back at it, I believe, on Tuesday against the ACL Dodgers. So check them out if you're able to, if you're in the Arizona area. They don't usually stream the games. Been really trying hard to try to figure out, see if we could see some live action from the ACL Reds, but I've struck out so far this young season, so I'll keep trying until we get there. But moving on to Daytona. Daytona, man, it's been a bit of a struggle this season. And if you saw the lineup today, Ricky, I don't know if you saw the lineup and their batting averages associated with these guys. Aside from Drew Davies today, who hits 267, I think is batting average, everyone else was under 260. And some of them really under 260. And they have, a losing record. Tyson Lewis is out on the IL, and he's kind of been struggling. It's just been really rough, and they went 1-5, just like your Cincinnati Redlegs this week. And only in the 6 games they hit 2 home runs. So I know that Florida State League is hard to hit. It's hard to hit home runs, but it just kind of hits home the point that it's been kind of tough sledding for your Daytona Tortugas. They had some outstanding performances here and there, but for the most part, a bit of a struggle. What were your takeaways from Daytona's week?
Yeah, Bernard Moon had a good outing on Sunday. He goes 3 for 4, had a double, and Jalen Hairston, good to see him up there. He's hitting 288 for the season and hitting 261, I believe, for Daytona. Yeah. So 263. So he does have 5 hits in 19 at-bats so far. So good to see him up there and having some success, because he really wasn't having a great year for the DSL last year. I think he had a couple injuries too. But good to see him up here finally and having some success. Drew Davies goes 0 for 3 on Sunday. Kyle Henley 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Had a Will Benson day on Sunday. They're gonna miss Jacob Friend a lot, and I don't know what they do for as far as the team goes, but they have an answer in the ACL who I think is ready to go up there, and Hervin Murillo, who should be up there, I think, soon. He's good enough to be up there right now. I don't think they rush catchers nearly as fast as they should. But he's clearly ready, I believe. And yeah, it's just not very many good pitching outings this week either. It was just rough all the way around. Bernard Moon had a pretty decent week. Ichiro Kano goes 2 for 4 on Saturday. Bryce Archie gets tagged with the loss. Shingan Lin did okay. 3 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 walks, but he struck out 6 with a run. So he's got his ERA down under 4 now. So he's coming along nice. It's good to see from him. And they get blanked on Friday, 9-0. Just rough overall.
I was watching the Sheng-En Lin start on Saturday and thought he had kind of going, but he was missing the zone a lot, and it caused him to throw a lot of pitches. And he only went 3 1/3 inning, but had 80 pitches in that. I think they pulled him out of fear of overusing his arm, and I think he had traffic going when they pulled him for the reliever. So like, it wasn't like it was a shelling of a start where he was getting hit around, giving up extra base hits and what have you. It was kind of strange because I was watching him and he got out of some jams early in the first and second inning, but it just seemed like he was just throwing lots of pitches, missing just barely. Unfortunately, except for the Double-A level, you can't challenge any pitches, so it's not like they could go back and see if he actually hit it in the strike zone or not. So, like, yeah, having 4 walks and less than 4 innings is not ideal, but it wasn't like he didn't have his best stuff and was getting. I mean, he still had 6 strikeouts in those 10 outs that he got. So it was a very kind of weird start for him. He had previously had 2 really strong starts before that, so I think maybe they're just trying to injury prevention, not overuse him in that start, and get the relievers in. Obviously Daytona's having kind of a struggle of a season. They're not trying to maybe injure one of their top 15 prospects who has been pretty good of late.
Yeah, and a really good outing from Starlin Torres on Tuesday. Goes 5 innings, does have 6 hits, but he only had 2 walks with 4 strikeouts. 3 earned runs. I think they were all on a home run. His ERA is up over 7, which is kind of surprising. We were really high on him going into the season.
Yeah.
And then Edgar Colon on Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Had a rough outing too. 4 innings, 7 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, but the hits kind of got to him. He's got electric stuff. Just turned 20, 5.82 ERA. He pitched himself into a top 30 prospect ranking. I think he's at 28 or 27 right now. Really good pitcher. It's just guys are hitting him right now. I think if he tones that down, he's going to be a very elite pitcher in this organization. He's got a really good fastball. Just your prototypical pitcher build, 6'3", 180. If he bulks up a little bit, he probably hits 100 consistently. And yeah, just need to get more swing and miss stuff without leaving the zone.
Yeah. And you mentioned Starlin Torres. He doesn't turn 20 till next week. So 19 years old. So lots of baseball ahead of both of those guys. So it is concerning at the moment, but I think they got some time to figure it out and get those ERAs into more decent shape. But yeah, the stuff is there for both of those guys. Same thing with Sheng-En Lin. The stuff is there for sure. Ready to move on to Dayton?
Yep.
Dayton again. It had an interesting week. This week was weird. They were playing against the Detroit affiliate. Going into this Sunday, the past Sunday's game, or the Sunday's game, they were going up against them, looking to do the split as they usually do. But unfortunately, look who is on the other side of the pitching matchup. It's one and only 2-time Cy Young winner, Tarek Skubal. So you're going into, obviously these guys are playing, trying to get promoted themselves and maybe have a little bit of point of pride to be like, hey, this guy is a major leaguer rehabbing in high A. I forget the name of their team, West Michigan
Whitecaps.
Whitecaps. So they're like, okay, I'm gonna go see what my stuff, if I can go toe to toe with a Cy Young winner, a guy that's coming off injury. Maybe he's not on top of his game completely. Oh no, he was on top of his game. 5 innings, 2 hits. I think we were talking about this pre-show. 6 strikeouts in 54 pitches. Just super, super efficient. 44 of those 55 pitches, I forgot to tell you, Ricky, were strikes. So he only threw 10 balls in 5 innings.
Yeah.
So So nothing against the Dragons having a losing week. Obviously, I would say they had a 2-3 week. I don't think today really counted, given the circumstances, but they did have some decent performances from some guys. Guy we might talk about later, guy that's been really hot of late that I talked about a lot, Mr. Alfredo Duno has been great. But what were your takeaways from the week for Dayton?
Yeah, it's time to call up Carlos Sanchez. It's time to call up Alfredo Duno. Those two are clearly ready to move up, and it's just what moves do you make ahead of them to move them up, because you want them to play every day, obviously. And Duno didn't have the best day on Sunday. He goes 0 for 3, only had 1 strikeout, so it's not like he wasn't making contact. Carlos Sanchez is hitting .318 with an .892 OPS as your leadoff hitter for Dayton, so I think he's clearly ready to move up. The question is, does he stick at shortstop long term? And Jacob Friend, gets promoted, and he's hitting .333 with a .941 OPS in his week with the Dragons. So good to see him continuing to just rake no matter where he's at. And Duno had a low week by his standards, but still, I think he still hit like 2 home runs this week. So nothing he can't, nothing to write home about. He did have 2 home runs this week. So yeah, he's ready. Just bring him up.
Yeah, and the biggest thing with Duno is the catching, right? I think that's the one thing. But anyway, he can still catch at Chattanooga as well. There's probably just movements that need to be made with regards to the catching situation in Chattanooga. As we know, McChrystal's there. Connor Burns still on the IL, so that'll be interesting. Maybe they're waiting to see what's going on there, but that's a Chattanooga thing. Dayton had also a great performance from Carter Graham again, a guy who last week set the single game record for the Dayton Dragons of 8 RBIs. Followed up this week with 3 homers and 8 RBIs and just crushing it still. And Jacob Friend also making his debut as a Dayton Dragon this week, doing pretty well, hitting his first home run, stealing bases, even though he's hitting down, I think, 7th or 8th in the lineup, still doing damage down there, being productive as ever as he was in Daytona. Maybe he gets to be moved up in the lineup to supplement, like the Duno, Vu, Carter Graham, Carlos Sanchez 1 through 4. That'd be nice to see. Yerlin Confidant's really kind of struggled of late, I believe. I was looking up at his stats. He has not looked the same as he was, I think, in the month of April and a little bit of May. So there's a bit of concern there for the Dragons. Some of their pitching performances have been pretty decent. Jose Montero was pretty good. And I believe he went on – I had it the other there. Anyway, I'll get back. But Jacob Edwards as well. We'll transition Jacob Edwards. Jacob Edwards on Wednesday went 2 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, didn't give up a run. And on the season, Jacob Edwards has got a 1.59 ERA, which is just great to see for him. Where did I have this? Now I gotta check all my stupid notes.
I'll talk about McCoy while you look for him. So he pitched on Thursday, I think. 4 2/3, 5 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. I think this is his second start in high A. I think third start at high A. 3.97 ERA, 12 strikeouts, 5 walks, 220 batting average against, and that is Kyle McCoy, to get his name proper for you. Really good stuff from him. I'm really happy because he was just promoted 3 weeks ago. Had his debut. I think he had like 9 strikeouts at his debut. Electric stuff at his debut. Kind of struggled in his second outing. Nice to see a bounce back from him in his third outing.
Yeah, the Jose Montero pitched on Tuesday or Wednesday the 3rd, and it went 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and his ERA is down below 4 again. And has been a lot better since he moved down from Chattanooga to Dayton to kind of retool and get back his stuff and get it going again. Hopefully he'll be back up in Chattanooga sooner than later, because we've been kind of having some pitching issues in Triple-A and Double-A, and hopefully, Nate Peterson, I think, just got moved back up to Triple-A to get that going again. So hopefully we get some good performances out of Jose Montero. I believe he'll be there, the starter, on Tuesday. I'm planning on going to the Dayton Dragons game on Tuesday, so hopefully get some live breakdown and watching of Jose Montero start for your Dayton Dragons.
Nice. Yeah, it kind of seems to be a theme throughout this Reds organization of pitching struggles.
Of late, for sure. It definitely is something that, I mean, all of the organizations except for Chattanooga had losing weeks or split. So it's kind of it's been a little bit of a struggle the month of May and June of late. We'll hopefully be able to turn around this next couple weeks into this month. But yeah, any other thoughts on Dayton?
No, just good to see Jacob Friend having some success with his promotion.
Yeah. He's still doing his thing that he was doing in Daytona, which is great to see. Hopefully, I get to see him on Tuesday as well. But your Chattanooga Lookouts, like I talked about, had a 4-2 week. They're back to it with playing solid baseball. Had some games that they came back in and won just 4-3. They had a couple guys that hit really well. A guy that seem like we're talking about almost every single week. Hitting the ball well and probably deserving of a promotion to Triple-A is Carlos Jorge. So there's a lot of things that are going on there. Nestor Laurent has been looking great up there as well. And then also Cam Collier, I think, hit a home run on Sunday. So he's starting to come back. I had looked up his stats. He had kind of struggled a bit before Sunday's game, the last 23 games for him. He was hitting 190 for batting average, 258 for on base, and 310 for slug, with just a single home run in the last 23 games. So a little bit of a lull for Cam Collier, a guy that we were hoping would be in Triple-A sometime this year, but maybe this is a low point of his season. He can build up and kind of start building on these successes and keep it up in the next couple weeks. But what were some takeaways for you?
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot of people that would, if you said Jay Allen was going to have a better year than Cam Collier, they would have laughed at you. But I'm glad to see Jay Allen having some success at Double-A too. Went 2 for 3 on Wednesday, and for the season, he's batting .294 with 10 stolen bases, and he's still just 23 years old. So it's good to see him doing well. First round pick in 2021 was a compensation pick number 30. Really good to see. He really struggled earlier in his career. A couple of it was injuries, but just his hitting just wasn't there. Last year hits just 227 with a 651 OPS. His career best OPS before this year was 717 in 2024. And his best batting average was last year at 227. So really glad to see him really turning it up here as late. He's got 4 home runs. He does strike out enough. He does have 47 strikeouts, but 17 walks. So he's not doing terrible, but 10 stolen bases. He's still flashing the speed, playing center field, playing left field. Just really glad to see him doing well and having some success finally after a few rough years.
Yeah, for sure. One other guy I wanted to profile for Double-A, Nick Sando had kind of a not rehab. I don't know. He came off the IL, just went 2 innings. So just kind of getting back into it. A guy that we had talked about a lot previously, having some really good starts. Hopefully he can get some more innings. I'm guessing they're being cautious with him with just the 2 innings on Wednesday, but only gave up the 1 hit and 1 strikeout for that. So hopefully he can get back to it, because we thought he had been promoted to Triple-A to stay up at Triple-A, and he had that fantastic start there, but then got sent back down. I guess it was just kind of an emergency start to get some get an arm up there for a week or so, but has been back to Chattanooga and then unfortunately got injured. So hopefully he can get back to it because that'd be great. The big left-hander. I think we compared him a little bit to like kind of a Nick Lodolo body type and kind of frame. So hopefully that will be kind of this week we'll be talking, or next week we'll be talking about Nick Sando having a nice start again.
Yeah, and I don't know if we talked about it or not, but Ty Floyd having the another setback with his injury, and then Nestor Laurent gets promoted to Double-A, and in 2 starts has allowed just 7 hits and 3 walks, 15 strikeouts with a 184 average against him in those 2 starts. Only goes 4 1/3 in his last outing, but really good to see him doing well. He could maybe he's 23. He could be fast tracked to AAA if he keeps pitching like this. His issue is the walk, and he seems to be improving on that this year. So hopefully he can, maybe see another promotion sometime this season.
Yeah, and we can't forget our buddy, friend of the show, Jonathan Harmon had a great start.
Yes.
7 innings on Friday, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 6 Ks in the win. He's been pitching well of late. I think he's 5-2 on the season.
Yeah.
So he's been the big righty's been pitching well out there. Big boy from South Louisiana. So hopefully he can keep that up at Double-A, as he was a Dayton Dragon last year and was in the Arizona Fall League and pitched pretty well there. So it's good to see Harmon pitch well for your Lookouts.
Yeah, and he could see a promotion. I think if he didn't have Tommy John, he probably sees himself in AAA already.
Yeah, for sure. Could be. Anything else about the Lookouts? All right. Louisville Bats. They had an interesting week, kind of up and down. They had 3-3 week split, but they also had some really interesting, like the Tuesday or Wednesday day performance. They usually do a Wednesday day game. They gave up 14 walks,
18 runs, 14 walks.
Yeah, and really rough. And just when the major league club has been struggling with relief pitchers and pitchers in general walking guys, it's not great to see that also happening in your AAA level as well.
You know who didn't allow a walk that game?
Jose Trevino.
Connor Phillips.
Oh, he might be back. He's been okay. He's been pitching out of for Louisville Bats. Decently.
He was the only pitcher that didn't have a walk that game.
There you go. Well, hopefully he can keep building on that and be back at the major league level, because we saw him at the end last season pitch fantastically out of the pen and looked like he had figured it out. But he's still a young guy. I think he's only 24, I want to say. So he's got a lot of growing and to do as well. And hopefully maybe future closer. But anyway, we'll talk about the Bats for a bit. They got their week started pretty nicely. They had Michael Tolia. He's been playing pretty well this week. 2 for 4, 2 doubles on the Tuesday game to win 6-5. And he ended up also, I threw up on our YouTube page a home run that he literally hit in the street. I saw that, Ricky. They had some motorcycle gang or parade or something like going through the street. I think he hit one of those guys because they kind of like stopped and like had to go pick up the ball. But it just shows the type of power that guy's got, and maybe a promotion soon. Maybe, I don't know. But what were your takeaways for Louisville?
Yeah, Michael Tolia has just been a really good pickup in the offseason. I say it every week, but I joked when we didn't get Kyle Schwarber. I said, we're going to go get Michael Tolia now, and we did, and I'm glad we did because he's been a pleasant surprise. I mean, the batting average doesn't scream at you. He's hitting in the 250, 260 range, but 257, 15 home runs, and 908 OPS. He's a guy that hit 20 home runs at the major league level in a season once before. And you're going to say, he played for the Rockies, but most of his home runs were on the road. Yeah. So he's 27, switch hitter, plays first base, plays the outfield. He could be somebody that if there's a fire sale at the major league level, he could very well come up and be a decent contributor at that level too.
Yeah, didn't Reese Hines win the Southern League or International League MVP with 20 homers and 20 stolen bases? And
I think he was the Bats MVP. I don't know if he was the International League MVP, but not here near nor there. 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases was incredible. And I'll still say it. I don't think he had a legit shot with the major league team, but too late now. He's in Miami in their AAA team. I haven't really kept tabs on how he's doing down there, but if he's playing in AAA, he's raking.
Yeah, I only mean to bring up Rhys Hines to say that Michael Toglia has 15 home runs, and we're not in the halfway point of the minor league season.
Yeah,
So,
he could hit 30.
He could hit 30, but the Reds should really maybe call him up. There's injuries or what have you. They could use his pop. Now, obviously, home runs are not going to solve everything, but it'd be nice to get a little, shot in the arm injection, some offense from a guy that can hit the ball. But anyway, Chase Petty also had a pretty decent outing this week. Chatterbox Reds, Craig Sandlin, who's based out of Tennessee, went to see the Memphis Redbirds, Redbirds.
Yep.
Yeah, the Cardinals affiliate faced the Bats down there in Memphis, Tennessee, and he said that Chase Petty had battled through because there was a bunch of guys that were going deep in the counts, fouling off stuff a lot, being quite annoying batters, and he went 6 innings with 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and 7 Ks. He ended up, I think, losing the game, but it showed that he's got this resiliency, something that you had noted earlier in the year with Chase Petty, and yeah, what were your thoughts about Petty?
Yeah, I want to see him get an extended run at the major league level. I think he's had his ups and downs for the Bats, and he's had his ups and downs at the major league level. But I want to see him get 5 straight starts at the major league level, and because I think his maturity level is way higher now. He's 23 now. Dealt with the situation that he dealt with last year. He made his major league debut, and it couldn't have gone any worse. And I think that was a wake up call to be like, all right, maybe I wasn't ready when he thought he was, because he pitched very well the year before. And he's had his adversities, like in the game that he pitched in the other day. He he only had a handful of walks. What was that? Thursday. Yeah.
He pitched Friday. No, you're right. Thursday night, the 4th.
Yeah, so he ended up getting the loss, but 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. The home run got him. The offensive support wasn't there. They only had 1 hit. It's just the ERA doesn't look great, a 6.17, but it's the underlying stuff that you see, and it's more of the stuff that you can't see, that's not on a stat sheet at any advanced stat or anything. It's the way he's battled, right? He's got a 1.54 whip, not screaming great, but it's good. And he had a game, I want to say it was a month ago, kind of a similar game to his last outing, where he was falling behind. He'd walk a batter, he'd walk 2, and then he'd find a way to get out of the inning without allowing a run. And he did that a few times, and he did that again on Thursday. And I think it's just time to get him an extended run and just see what he can do, because he's at what point do you not do it? He's 23, has great velocity. I think some people were sleeping on his velocity, because I think he kind of didn't have it last year, and he's the 3rd highest velocity on the team this year. And I think he had a 98 or 99 mile per hour fastball he threw in his Chicago start.
Yeah, and then that spring breakout, what was it, 101 nothing. So there's that. I'm not sure how close that was to reality, but it hit on the gun 101.
It probably was.
Yeah, but yeah, we know he has the stuff. You're right. It's about the consistency. He seems to also have the resilience that obviously he got hit around his first major league start against, I think it was the Cardinals as well, right? So it was kind of hopefully fitting that he came back and gave the Reds a chance in that double header game where he was the 27th man taxi pitcher a week or so ago. I think they ended up winning the game. I don't think he ended up getting the win, because I think he gave up that homer to make it 4-4 against the Cardinals. But anyway, he's shown enough that he can be, I think, at least a reliable guy. You got Rhett Lauder also coming back. And then also I want to talk about Julian Aguilar. Julian Aguilar had a kind of a rehab-ish start at AAA, as he was with Dayton, I think, last week doing some rehab stuff. So they've got some arms that are on the way to the majors. Aguilar and Lauder obviously is a major leaguer, as he pitched on Sunday for the Reds, albeit just 3 innings. But they definitely need guys that can eat up innings. Brady Singer ain't doing it. So why not Chase Petty? Why not Chase Petty? I think it's the same question you have in your mind. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to talk about Julian Aguilar. He's just turned 25, a guy that had that season-ending surgery last year on his UCL, so missed all of 2025. Coming back this year, been up and down a little bit with injuries, but coming back 4 innings on Friday for your Louisville Bats, 2 hits, 0 runs, 4 Ks in the win for them on Friday night. He might be a guy that might be coming up to the. I don't think he's on the. Is he on the 40-man?
Aguilar, technically, yes. He was, well,
I'm not sure if he is. I
I
think
think
he might
he
be.
is, because he was, and then they put him on the 60-day, and that takes it away. But I think they had to re-add him.
Okay. Either way, he might be a guy that may be up in Cincinnati sooner than later. Maybe even with Chase Petty at the same time. That'd be nice to see. No, you're right. Yeah, he is on the 40-man, even though he's listed as in the minors portion of the 40-man. But anyway, so if he's looking good and healthy, I don't know, they maybe give him one more start this week, possibly, for Aguilar. And there may be a possibility he might be in Cincinnati by the end of the month. That would be very exciting to see, because I saw him pitch at spring training, and he looked pretty good, even though that he was coming in the 7th or 8th or 9th inning, so toward where like a lot of the minor leaguers are out there. Not necessarily, you're not seeing, the major league portion of the roster, but still, notwithstanding, he's still got to get guys out, and he did when he was out there in Arizona. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll be a guy that can maybe help this Reds team that has been struggling late with pitching and control. Maybe he can get some quality starts up there at the major league club and help the big guys win some games.
Yeah. Do you want to know how the Bats lost on Sunday?
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
A walk-off walk.
Yeah, it's contagious.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily want to cover that, but we'll. I figured I covered the 18 runs, 14 walks day. That was emblematic enough of the struggles. The struggle's real.
Yeah, and Austin Hendrick has kind of struggled over his last few games. He's coming back down to earth. 224, 591 OPS. He's only been in AAA for like 2 weeks. I still believe in him. I think he's going to be a major leaguer one day. But TJ Friedl had a rough week in his return to AAA. He was optioned down on Monday night, going for Tuesday's game. He hitting just 176, 557 OPS for the week. I don't know what else to really say about TJ Friedl. Then I hope he gets it going. But when you have other guys in the outfield at AAA that are playing better than you, with one of them being on the 40-man roster and Hector Rodriguez, I don't think Friedel's the first person you call up when you think he's right, because I would bring up Rodriguez before I bring up Friedl.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would bring up Michael Chavis before I bring up TJ Friedl. Francisco or Baez, I'd bring him up before.
Oh, don't do that to me.
He went 3 for 4 on Sunday. He's up to 291 average.
He's been playing a lot lately, and it's good to see. He's going to probably play a lot more that Edwin Arroyo's gone, to be honest with you. With the hamster still at short, or Baez will probably be playing second a lot more. So there's that. The TJ Friedl thing is real, man. It's been a huge drop off. I gotta think he's got still a lot more left in the tank. This has got to be just a case of that his I don't know. They talked about it. He played too many games last year. Maybe he needs a little bit of rest. Maybe it's like a Santian thing where he's not at his best because he's fatigued. I don't know. He's turning 30, Friedel, right? Or 31.
31. Yeah, he's 30 currently. He turns 31 in August.
And I know Father Time, is undefeated, but like that's got to be really a knockout blow to his confidence. I think to be struggling even at the AAA level for this week. So,
some guys age differently than others. A little analogy: when the Indianapolis Colts signed Matt Ryan, I think they thought he had a couple years in him, and he barely made it a couple weeks because he just got dead arm. But then you got Tom Brady, who's 44, going to a Super Bowl. So guys just age differently. And Friedel's style of play is a little bit more reckless than some other players, and maybe the leg injuries have caught up to him, and never really had the strongest arm to begin with. So if you don't have a strong arm and you've got no legs, I don't know what you got at that point.
Yeah. Hopefully he can summon something at Louisville and get that going again. Because I feel like we haven't seen the last of TJ Friedel. This would be very disappointing, and I guess kind of one of the things that this 2026 season kind of has shown us is that winning is not always sustainable. You're not always going to be moving forward with your progress. Sometimes there's a step back, and hopefully then you step back and regather yourself and then take 2 steps forward. That's the hope with TJ, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good dude. He gave us some really good memories for the Red Legs, and I would like to hope there'll be a couple more.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Anything else on Louisville Bats?
I would be remiss if we didn't mention Hector Rodriguez's 11th home run of the season, but I think I've said enough about Hector Rodriguez. I think he is the next guy to get called up if there's a move.
Yeah, it could be. There's injury or something like that. Like you had mentioned earlier, he's already on the 40-man, so there's no need to create a roster spot, DFA anybody or whatnot. So that is very likely, especially because, Blade came up, was a shot in the arm for the outfield. Edwin Arroyo, I think, was supposed to be also that shot in the arm to get the offense going. Again, another jolt. Maybe they wait till beginning of July, and maybe Hector Rodriguez is his chance to have a jolt, a shot in the arm. That's my guess. I think he might be before All-Star break if I had to put a timeline on it.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, I'm glad we agree because he's been playing pretty well.
Yeah, he's been awesome.
So, yeah, but we hope to see him soon up at Cincinnati. He's only 22 years old as well. Another, just like Edwin Arroyo, another 22-year-old.
Yeah, he's improved in so many ways. I'll pull up his fan graphs real quick. He has really improved his chase rate. He has improved in a lot of ways. Just looking at some of your basic stats, his strikeout percentage is up 3% this year over last year, but his walk rate is also up 3%. So he's almost a 4%. He's 10.9%. His walk rate was at 7% last year. He's still just striking out 18% of the time, by the way. It's not like it's a high number. And when you look at some of the more advanced stats, I'm not claiming to be an advanced stat knower, I guess. But, you look at his swing percentage is 35% outside of the zone. That was at 46% last year. So his chase rate has dropped by 11%. His zone swing percentage is also down. He was at 76% last year. He's at 59%. And his swing percentage overall is down to 46%. So he's really worked on not swinging as much. And oddly enough, the numbers are there that, you would think, he swings less, he's not hitting as much, but he's hitting better and he's hitting for more power. And what's helping him is not swinging as much out of the zone. So it's really good to see him having some really nice success in AAA.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to say he was one of those guys that had like a crazy in the zone contact rate like 80 to 90 something percent that was aiding him to have such success, is that he was
he's at
just had a-
78.9% this year in the zone contact percentage. Or
Okay.
no, 88% in the
Yeah.
zone contact. 88 last year, 83 in 23, 94% in 2022.
Yeah, he's one of those crazy guys that it's in the zone. He's got some crazy contact rate numbers. So
And his short amount of time in New York, when before the trade, 100% zone contact percentage.
how big was that sample size? One game?
I think it was like 8, but still.
Okay. That's crazy stuff. Yeah, he's just kind of got that.
But he had
that-
92% in Cincinnati. So
Yeah,
it translated.
for sure. Yeah, if he could do that at the major league level, I think he may have a job in Cincinnati. We'll see. But we'll talk about a guy that has been on fire this week, aside from Hector Rodriguez, aside from Carlos Jorge, aside from Alfredo Duno. Crazily, it's Alfredo Duno's teammate, Mr. Carter Graham, has been the prospect of the week for us. His numbers up there are just eye-popping. 409 batting average, 519 on base, 864 slug for OPS of 1.383. It's crazy that I think he's a little bit older, on the older side for high A. I think he's 24 years old. But probably maybe a promotion to Chattanooga might be in the mix there. They have big Rube Ibarra there at first base, and Carter Graham usually plays first base a lot for Dayton. So maybe DH, maybe sometimes, maybe split sometime, big Rube. But 3 homers, 8 RBIs, coming off a week where last week he had the Dayton Dragons single game RBI record of 8 RBIs in one game. A second straight week of doing it is pretty impressive. Let's see, he could do it another week, I guess, and then maybe seriously should be looking at promotion to Chattanooga. But yeah.
I mean, he's been really good. He's 24, like you said. He's a little older for high A, but he's also a college kid. So he played at Stanford. He's hitting 318 on the season, 9 home runs, 5 stolen bases, and 982 OPS. Just really, really good player. Right now, he's on a hot streak. And, is it sustainable? Who knows? But, I mean, you're a college player. You played at a program like Stanford. You're pretty good. He was an 8th round pick just in 2023. So I think maybe you look at moving him up. He has some experience playing third base in his career. Maybe if he could, cut down on his chase rate. I think that's kind of what's hurting him at the moment. A 34% chase rate, 74 or 64% zone swing percentage, with the swing percentage of just 48%. His zone contact percentage, though, is at 83%. So when he's swinging in the zone, he's hitting it. So it's really nice to see him his zone contact percentage is at 83%. His zone percentage is 42%. So he's been doing really well, and he deserves player of the week. I'd like to see him at another level, and if he can have this sustained success, maybe he could be someone we talk about as, at bare minimum, nice bench depth at the major league level.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a guy that I think going in this season we did not profile at all, and a couple of guys have shot up kind of our radar, our watch list type of thing. So like it's good to see it. It's kind of great because like at with the lineup they have there in Dayton, it's pretty formidable. Carlos Sanchez leadoff with Alfredo Duno usually hitting second, and the Vu, and then you got Carter Graham cleanup. Like they've been pretty good. I think they're about 1 game out of first place. Unfortunately, losing to Tarek Schoolball doesn't help today, but or on Sunday, I should say. But like they've been almost there for first half playoff berth to qualify. So like it's been pretty good at Dayton Dragons. Like they're kind of building off the crazy run they had last year, and they didn't have the greatest of first halves in 2025. So it's great to see that they are playing exciting baseball, at least for the fans of Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah. And kind of going more into the promotional line for him, He's probably going to get called up really soon, just based off of his track record. So, I get an ad right when I go to talk about it. All right. Here it is. So in 2024, he played 49 games in the Florida State League, Daytona, 34 games for Dayton. In 2025, he plays 44 games for Daytona, and then it goes back up to high A for 57 games. This year he's at 49 games. So I think if he hits that 50 mark, 57, another week or two, probably see him in Double-A.
Yeah, they have until the 18th or 17th for the first half of the season cutoff, and they reset, the standings. But I wouldn't be surprised after that end of the first half of the season.
We'll see some moves. Yeah, we'll probably see a lot of big moves. I think that'll probably be when Duno gets moved. That'll probably be when Sanchez gets moved and Carlos Jorge gets moved, because you're starting over and you can get that re-influx of talent.
Yeah, and I think also Carrick's been hitting me up. He's saying that like Louisville, I think Chattanooga only got like 12 or 11 field players when they can have, I think, a maximum of 13. And obviously they probably want some flexibility in case some guys get optioned down, like, TJ Friedel, for example, for Louisville and what have you. But there's still possibly some roster flexibility in a lot of those clubs at the halfway point of the season. So yeah, if it happens, we're definitely going to cover it. We're going to talk about it. But yeah, it's been a pretty decent first half of the season for our affiliates. Hopefully they can have another good week this week. So that way, at least for me, it could distract me away from the Cincinnati Reds a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you got anything else, Ricky, about our affiliates?
No, just want to see some of our really exciting pitching talent get their command going and show some improvement week to week. And really good to see Jose Acuna and Nestor Laurent really pitching well in Double-A. I could see Acuna in Triple-A fairly soon, and Laurent probably not too far behind.
Yeah, for sure. Also, enter our ticket giveaway. Enter into or check out our top 30 show. Yep, there's our ticket giveaway. Make sure that you sign up for that. Send your screenshot that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel to enter. Make sure you read Reds on SI, Ricky stuff there. Make sure our top 30 show I just mentioned as well. It's going to be coming out on Monday night. So check that out. Premiere updated list to get you your top 30 rankings. Would be great to see who moved up, who moved down, who's debuted on the list for us and as well. But yeah, anything else from you, Rick?
No, just get in that giveaway because we only got a week left.
Yeah, 1 week left. So yeah, get in while you can. And until then, go Reds.
Go Reds.